Welcome back to another episode of the Rock Solid Sports Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Today is Tuesday, April 30th, and Michael Penix Jr. is a Falcon.
The future's here, baby.
The future is here. Nuggets won the series last night. Anthony Edwards might just be Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
More NBA, NHL Playoffs. The NFL draft happened, and somebody got back their Heisman Trophy.
Oh, yeah.
Cold Brew Hot Topics SOL question. Let's do it.
We gonna make it, baby.
Rock solid. Rock solid. Rock solid. Rock solid. Rock solid sports.
Welcome back. What a great weekend to be a Falcons fan, huh?
I guess, man. I mean,
You guys have two quarterbacks.
yeah, we do. We might have one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL, but, I mean, we also, passed up on some really good players. So it's one of those things where we're going to have to wait and see if it really pays off. I liked it. I liked him a lot. I think before, Kirk Cousins got signed to that contract, that's who I wanted. That's who I envisioned being our quarterback. But then we got him. We signed Kirk to that big contract, and then it was a confusing pick, especially when we needed defensive help, which, I mean, we got later on in the draft. But I don't know. I feel like that pick could have been used to better help us now, whereas then I feel like it was used to help us moving forward into the future.
And that was kind of like that kind of threw off the whole, draft landscape too. I mean, It was kind of normal. First three, we kind of predicted that was all going to be the case.
Everything kept the pace.
Yes, until
until
number 8. If you don't know, NFL draft happened past Thursday through Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty normal. Caleb Williams went number 1, as we all expected, to the Bears. Jaden Daniels to the Commanders, 2nd. Drake May, 3rd, to the Patriots. And then it was Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals, and then Joe Alt to the Chargers. It felt really normal. Yeah. And then we got all the way up to the 8th pick, and boom, Atlanta Falcons make it.
No.
We were just sitting on this couch.
We were sitting on this couch watching it, and when I saw Adam Schefter's face pop up, and they're looking at taking a quarterback here, and I went, why? What are we doing? And then the shock and the terrified amount of, terrifying shock that went through my body when I thought JJ was about to be our quarterback was terrifying.
Especially after the hot takes.
Oh, yeah, no, dude. But, yeah, I mean, I like him, and I think I have an idea of what we're going to use him for. So I was reading today about it, and Kirk Cousins, we signed him to a 4-year, $180 million contract. But after 2 years, the guaranteed money's gone. So I think the dead money, if we just cut him, would be $12 million or something like that, which isn't bad at all. So I think what their plan is to ride out Kirk Cousins for 2 years and see how he does. And if he's just okay, then probably we're going to cut him. And then that's when we're going to start really using Michael Penix, and he's going to come in and kind of take over and lead for the future. But the only thing is if Kirk Cousins plays well, we make a couple deep playoff runs and we're actual, contenders.
Michael Penix is going to be waiting.
He's just going to have to wait for the end of his contract, and then you never know. Kirk Cousins might get another 2 years if he's playing really well. So I think it's just time's going to tell on it, and I think it's just going to suck waiting as a Falcons fan because it's going to take possibly 4 years to figure out if that draft pick was well done. And a lot of people have been comparing it kind of to the Jordan Love pick. The only difference I see there is Jordan Love was young, and and Michael Penix is 24, I believe. So he just by the time that if he goes the whole 4-year contract, Michael Penix is going to be around 29 years old-ish by the time that he starts, which, I mean, it's still young-ish, but, I mean, you have to be so good to the point where you can play from 29 and play for a long time.
Penix is young. He's only 23.
That's not too bad.
Okay, I thought he was 24, but still, I mean,
that's old for college.
It's still a little bit older, yeah.
What was your family's or Falcons Twitter? I know you're there. What was their initial reaction, and what have you seen since then?
Hatred. There's been a lot of that, of just we want this guy, and then they were like, no, we see it in the future. I don't know. A lot of people were kind of split on it. People were intrigued, disgusted. Nobody really knew
every emotion.
Yeah, no one really knew how to take what we did there, especially because leading up to it, we were like, oh, it's Dallas Turner. It's Latu Latu. It's one of those guys, without a doubt. I think even there was a higher possibility that we traded back than there was that we were going to actually go out and get a quarterback, because I wanted to get a quarterback in this draft, but I was thinking more like Joe Milton in the 7th round.
Late. if you put both their legs together, Kirk and Michael Penix, you get one full quarterback.
One whole person.
There you go. Another team in here got a quarterback. It goes by the name of Bo Nix. I know you weren't too thrilled. He went number 12. Initial reactions.
I wasn't thrilled at first. I won't lie. I was very upset. But I sit back, and I think that we'll be all right. It's whatever. It's a good start, I think.
Who's the day one starter, you think?
Bo Nix. We didn't pick up Zach Wilson's option today. I don't know exactly what that does for this season, but I think it's going to be Bo Nix. There's no way. With how they were talking, there's no way it's not him, I feel like. Yeah. Unless Zach Wilson absolutely balls out during training camp.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at that type of situation where it's like either Bo Nix or Zach Wilson, how much better is Zach Wilson going to be than Bo Nix? So at that point, it's kind of like you might as well start your rookie and get him those miles going already.
Exactly.
My Colts, I wasn't thrilled in the beginning. I wasn't thrilled with our pick. 15, we got Latu, correct? We did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I thought I was tripping for a second. I wanted Brock Bowers at 13, but he went to the Raiders. I was really happy when the Broncos passed on him. I was like, oh, he's going to fall. The Raiders ended up getting Brock Bowers. But the only reason I was kind of upset with the Latu pick is just that first initial, what ESPN likes to show is, oh, this guy was told to medically retire 2 seasons ago. And I'm like, oh, well, that doesn't give me good optimism. Yeah. But what they didn't show is he was a great player in the Pac-12. Oh, yeah. One of the best edge rushers in the draft, if not the best. We'll obviously have to find out that. Dallas Turner, another guy I kind of wanted, but he fell later. Yeah. Any picks that you guys found, intriguing, interesting?
I think for me, it's got to be Ladd McConkey going to the Chargers. I think that's going to be a really good pairing with Herbert. Ladd McConkey is such a dynamic route runner, and he's very good at getting open. All those years at Georgia that I watched him, he was very good about just making the right cuts and making the right decisions to get open and get the ball. And I think when you pair him with a guy like Blake Corum, who's going to be kind of speedy, and they're going to have that kind of younger core coming in, and with Quinn Johnson, if he can have a little bit better of a year.
Blake Corum's on the Rams, isn't he?
No, I think he got drafted by the Chargers.
No, he got drafted by the Rams, yeah.
Oh. But still, I mean, they have a really young core there, and I think they're bound to play really, really well. So I think Ladd McConkey's going to be a real good payoff. They
do have 2 good running backs. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards are both there. And, I mean, Harbaugh's offense, their wide receivers aren't, huge in his offense. But I agree. I think that'll be interesting.
And a lot of, the badness of the Chargers in these past few years can be easily chalked up to bad coaching. Yeah. So, if, Harbaugh can come in there and really lay it down, I think they're going to be fine.
The 2 picks I loved, one, both kind of homers. So, I mean, shout out Texas. But A.D. Mitchell, obviously, to the Colts in the second round. I think we got him at 52, which is crazy good value. I think he could easily be an X in this league. It's going to take him a few years. And we have Michael Pittman right now. So, I mean, we don't need him to be an X right away. But if he can, progress into one, that'd be great. Actually, 2 more. One more on that one, and then 2 more. Keon Coleman. Going to the Bills, first pick of the second round. Oh, yeah. What an awesome interview.
Oh, yeah. I shop like my mom. I get my coats in the summertime. You got to shop a season or 2 before, just in case, and they be cheaper. Because you go at Thanksgiving, everybody in Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying?
He said that his mom, taught him to buy his winter jackets in the summer and buy his summer clothes in the winter. Smart man.
Those pictures of him, the Bills ones where he's in, the ice room and everything, hilarious.
Hard. And then my last one was just Tavondre Sweat, huge defensive tackle from Texas. He's going to the Titans. Sucks that Jonathan Taylor's gonna have to run into him twice a year, but I loved what he did at Texas, and he kind of got. I think his value kind of got dropped going into this combine and going into this draft just because his combine stats weren't great. Yeah. Along with his size, wasn't really fit for the normal defensive tackle in the league, but I think he's bound to have a great career.
Oh yeah.
Any interesting picks for you guys?
I like Roma Dunze a lot because they already grabbed DJ Moore. They already got DJ Moore. They added DeAndre Swift.
Keenan Allen.
They got Keenan Allen. So I think it would be a fun team to watch, just adding all those offensive weapons and putting them around a young rookie like that.
Yeah, I think it was a really smart decision not to trade back with that pick. I think that was a really good opportunity for them to even throw more people into that offense to shore it up for Caleb Williams coming in. I think that's going to be a pick that really pays off for him.
I got Chris Abrams-Drain going to the Broncos. I think he's going to be a great cornerback. Sitting behind Pat Surtain. He's already getting Chris Harris Jr. comps. He's a little guy, but speed demon and super athletic, so I think he's going to be great.
I hate to do this because I hate Utah with a passion, but they got Cole Bishop. Their safety was a dog. I saw him play in person. Phenomenal safety. Went to the Bills. I'm really interested to see what he can do there.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great draft. I mean, Detroit showed out. The Pat McAfee show was a great on-campus treat to watch on ESPN. And then, a lot of great stories. I think we got a lot of cool characters. The Cooper DeJean memes were awesome. Yeah. He's breaking barriers, first white cornerback for a while. So shout out him, Jackie Robinson, real pioneers of our sport. Not really draft news, but Travis Kelce did get an extension. Congrats. Best tight end in the league got an extension. 2 years, $34 million. Taylor Swift can finally retire.
Yeah, finally. God, Lord knows she needs it. But, that was a really good re-signing, especially for 2 years. That's 2 more years.
Good value.
Especially for Chiefs fans, feeling like you have another 2 years of really being able to be dominant. And, if you were to lose Kelce, you'd get a little shaky about, it's a huge part of the team. That's a huge part of why we win. And if you were to lose him, that'd be pretty rough. So having another 2 years of that's going to be nice.
With all great news in the NFL comes sad news as well. We all hope Tank Dell's doing all right. He did get shot in, I believe, Florida. He was just a bystander.
Yeah.
But good to see that he's healthy because, he was awesome on the field. Hopefully his knee's better going into next season. But always terrible news when something like that happens. So, But, again, shout out to Detroit for showing up for the draft. That was awesome to watch. Gave me 3 days of entertainment when I really needed it. So, any other draft notes for you guys? Or NFL notes in general?
I just think this is going to be a really good draft that sets up for the future. I think this has the possibility to be one of those drafts that we look at 10, 15 years in the future and be like, that was crazy. Like the amount of Hall of Famers that came out of that. I think that has the potential to be this draft. So I'm excited to see how all these younger players evolve and all that, because a lot of them are just going to immediately play and immediately start, even some of the second, third rounders. So I'm just excited to see how these guys do.
Along with the NFL draft, NBA playoffs for this weekend, I think 2 series have wrapped up so far in the first round. A couple of them are 3-1. I know the Knicks, they're playing right now against the Sixers. That's 3-1. The Celtics Heat, 3-1. It's not 3-1.
What?
Jamal Murray made another shot last night.
Difference of 2 seconds, the game clock and the shot clock. Worst case scenario, we're going to overtime. Jokic a screen, Murray to try to break the tie.
Another one. They beat the Lakers again.
Yep.
It's always nice to say that. Beat them in 5 games. It was honestly a painful series to watch as a Nuggets fan. It was not pretty basketball. They played, honestly, really terrible.
No, they're going to have to fix that up for sure.
They played probably like a C-, D+ series, and the Lakers probably played like a B+ B series. They were great in certain stints, and I wouldn't really put that on their players either. Darvin Ham made a lot of mistakes last night. There was a stretch. It was 69-60 Lakers. And Darvin Ham, Nuggets went on a huge run. Darvin Ham had his hands in his pocket the whole time, like he usually does. Didn't call a timeout. I think the score got up to like 74-71 Nuggets, and by that time it was wraps.
Yep.
So
and I think Jamal Murray hit he's like the first NBA player in history to hit 2 game-winning shots under 5 seconds in 2 games in the same series.
And both
which is ridiculous.
Insane
when I first read that, I had to read it over like 6 times because it didn't make sense. That no one had done that yet.
So shout out to, honestly, the Lakers played great. I really have no gripes to hate against them at the moment. Besides the way Austin Reeves was kind of playing shameless basketball last night, but the refs were helping him. 36 free throws to 9, or was it 27? It might have been 27 free throws to 9. Regardless, terrible number.
Yeah, no, it's not good. You're going to have to – when you're getting that much help from the refs, you got to really capitalize on it. But, Darvin Ham was not doing good at all. He just seems like that's not his team at all. It just seems like he's just letting LeBron coach it and just moving on from there.
I wouldn't be surprised if we wake up tomorrow and he's not on the roster anymore.
Yeah.
Other than that, really no notes. Michael Porter played an amazing series. I think LeBron and Anthony Davis did their thing. LeBron looked great. Anthony Davis looked great. They just really didn't get help from others. D'Lo kind of struggled again. Hachimura kind of struggled again. Reeves played decent last night. But other than that, my only gripe of the whole series is that Keyshawn Johnson is a scum piece of shit. He is an absolute asshole. What are you doing going on national television when you have a platform and you're wishing injury? I wouldn't even say wished. He was cheering when Jamal Murray was questionable.
Jamal Murray came down a little funky, and he somehow strained his calf on his, I think it was his left
the
foot.
third calf strain of this playoffs.
Yep, and they are listing him as questionable for tonight. Okay, is it possible that?
And then when Skip Bayless explained that it might be like a calf strain, it might be out, he literally said "yay" like a little kid.
It's unbelievable.
As a former athlete, or just as a fan of any sport, the one cardinal rule is you don't wish injury upon anybody.
No, it's just a horrible thing to do. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, you never wish injury upon anybody because it's ridiculous. At the end of the day, to quote LeBron, it's just basketball. It's not that deep. You need to relax. Like, if you're doing that, that's just like a bad character trait, and that kind of just shows like how not great of a person you are if you're cheering on someone to be hurt. So, yeah, no, I'm on board with you there.
The basketball gods, first of all, are always watching.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Johnson made that comment yesterday afternoon, and Jamal Murray caps it off with scoring 32 points, making, obviously, the game-winning shot. And LeBron and AD both kind of got minor injuries in the game, and obviously no Nuggets fan was wishing that, but, the basketball gods are always watching, and Keyshawn Johnson, you are a piece of shit.
There we go.
Anyway, I know you're excited about this one. Michael Jordan's son. He sent them sons home in full.
Absolutely. Anthony Davis is a dog, boy.
Anthony Edwards.
Oh, yeah. Anthony Edwards. That's what I'm going to say.
Anthony
got me a little hung up on the Lakers series. I'm a little distraught.
Jaden McDaniels now has a 4-0 record versus Kevin Durant in the playoffs.
Yeah, so that quote actually has aged perfectly.
they might have Kevin Durant, but we have Jaden McDaniels. It stands true.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Anthony Edwards is the future.
He's something,
he's
man.
so good. Like, we were talking in the last episode, or maybe the episode before, I don't remember, but how he said it was going to be another, 2-3 years. It might be next year. Like, he's becoming so good at the game of basketball, and he's just unbelievable to watch, like, how he can just take over a game at any point, and he knows it too, which I think is funny. And you got even, like, KD, like, smiling, because he's just like, I think this is the future here when they were moving on.
And he knows when to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's matured a lot since, especially at Georgia, hit some of the shots he was taking and everything. He's just grown infinitely since then.
Oh, yeah.
He's a walking highlight reel at this
He
point.
really is.
I think earlier this year, me and Kane were talking, and I showed him. I was like, it was just some highlight. It was the one he dunked over, I think, John Collins on Utah. And I showed Caden that video, and he's like, I feel like once a year, Anthony Edwards has the dunk of the year or the highlight of the year in the NBA. And it's starting to stand true. I mean, that's probably like 2-3 years in a row.
At least once a year.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. Other than that, I mean, the Suns kind of went out sad. Bradley Beal played a terrible what did he say? I'll be damned if we get swept.
Yeah.
Shows up to media day the next day. I'll be damned. Huh?
He was damned. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Durant did all right in that last game. Devin Booker, I think, had like 47 or something, but it just wasn't enough. I like that quote. I think it was from 2 years ago. During the Timberwolves Suns game, Devin Booker said he looked at the Timberwolves bench and was like, "We play team basketball." And full circle, 2 years later, the actual team basketball won. It's cool to see. I mean, so far we've kind of seen the new age take out the old dogs.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we're starting to just see, like you said, the new age come through and those big names pop up. I mean, you're seeing it in OKC in full. But, yeah, you got SGA, you got Chet, you got Anthony Edwards, you got all these guys who are just coming up. And we're starting to see kind of the Brons and the KDs kind of start to play bad, but, like, start to obviously be kind of outmatched by some of these younger guys. Like for instance, LeBron can't just like kind of take over a series by himself and win anymore like he kind of used to be able to. So I think their time is just slowly coming to an end, but I mean, it's being followed up by a great class here.
Only other notes I had from this one was, one, I don't know if anybody saw the Bleacher Report graphic. Did you see that Bleacher Report graphic?
What was it?
Of Anthony Davis with the
Edwards.
Yeah, she got me saying it. the Anthony Edwards graphic of him pulling back Devin Booker's hair.
Oh, no.
Yeah, when he had the little mask.
He'll show you. Yeah, Bradley Beal has a no trade clause. I think that's going to probably screw them for a while. No team's going to want his contract, especially after the absolute stinker he put up this series.
Yeah, when you go all in and you're not getting any results, so you can really screw your team over.
Matt Ishbia, he's the owner of the Suns. Since he's became the owner of the Suns, he's been playing like 2K, like real life 2K, where he just thinks he can get all these stars and it's going to work out. And this is not how it works in the NBA anymore. You got to have teams, which go back on the last series real quick, and we'll combine both of these. Nuggets play the Timberwolves next series. Tim Conley, executive. he was the one who built both those teams.
Yep.
As, obviously Gobert was traded for. I know Nikhil Alexander-Walker was traded for. Other than that, most of these teams are like homegrown.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's going to really show itself in this next series between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. It's just going to be two powerhouses going against each other. And I think if the Nuggets learn from this series, I think they can go in and they can win it. But if they go into it anywhere near how they played this series, I'm not saying they're going to get swept, but they're not going to win many games and they're going to be going home.
I'll say it. They're going to get swept if they play like that.
Oh, yeah.
They played terrible.
Yeah.
That was terrible basketball.
And it also doesn't help that the Timberwolves are just, in general, hot right now.
Yeah.
Like, they're very hot, and it's a hard thing to stop going into the
They also match
playoffs
up
hot.
a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
size. They got a couple big dudes that can guard Jokic or try to, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's going 7. I think, obviously, I want the Nuggets to win. I think they're perfectly capable of doing so. But if anybody can beat them, I think it's that Minnesota team.
It's the team.
I agree.
That series starts Saturday. I think obviously everybody in this, in this point of the season is kind of banged up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everybody's healthy. Besides one guy, Chris Finch, the head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's not like funny to laugh at, but it's just funny. Like, we've never seen that kind of situation where a coach got injured like that. Like, I think we've seen the NFL a couple times, but it's never been like the head coach. Chris Finch tore his patella tendon. Mike Conley was going for a loose ball, just ran into his knee. I believe he's getting surgery tomorrow, and he'll either be, his status is like up in the air to be able to like be on the sideline in a wheelchair. But please let him on the sideline. I hope he get all the perks on it, all the perks in his system, and go coach this team, Chris Finch. Other than that, another exciting series, Pacers-Bucks right now. They had a very exciting game on Friday. Sunday was a little iffy just because the Bucks had Dame and Giannis out. And then Bobby Portis got ejected very quickly for pushing people. But, yeah, that game Friday, Chris Middleton was not missing.
No, not at all.
He made 2 of the craziest shots, and me and Cam were texting back and forth. We're like, is he going to make 3? And he was very close to making the third one.
Very close.
But Tyrese Halliburton ended up getting the game winner over Patrick Beverley, which is a great storyline because they've talked shit to each other, like, since Tyrese got in the league.
Yeah.
My quarterback, Anthony Richardson, was in attendance. Caitlin Clark was there. It looked electric. Like, back in the day when the Pacers used to have those series against LeBron, that's what it looked like.
No, yeah, it's cool seeing, like, teams like Indiana have just, like, big faces there that show up. I think it's really awesome and that we're getting more faces in, like, smaller places instead of, like, just in L.A. or New York. Like, it's pretty cool seeing these kind of middle of the country states getting all these celebrities there. It's pretty sick.
Another series up 3-1. I don't really think it's that exciting of a series personally. Celtics are beating the Heat 3-1. Only note I have on this is Porzingis may have gotten hurt, and I think they announced it today that he's going to miss a couple games with like a calf strain or something.
Yeah, the Celtics they're moving on.
I was going to say, does that even slow them down?
No,
they're a wagon.
Yeah.
One of my favorite series. We talked about this last week, but it's the game we're watching right now. Game 4 in Philadelphia. Jalen Brunson went in there and absolutely snatched all of Philadelphia's chain.
Oh, yeah.
He had a whole Knicks crowd in Wells Fargo Arena chanting MVP. Like, I think I was making food in the morning, and I had no clue. I wasn't being able to watch. And I just hear these MVP chants, and I'm like, oh, Embiid must be at the line. I turn around, Jalen Brunson's at the line.
Yeah.
And then, they're cheering for, the most random things. I'm thinking, the Sixers are up right now. I come back, and the Knicks are up by like 7. I was like, what is happening?
They're an electric team who, if they can get in control, they tend to keep it. And they're just a hard team to beat. And once they get hot, especially when they're playing at home, in that ruckus crowd, like, it's going to get loud, and it's going to get very hard to beat them. And, yeah, Jalen Brunson, when he ggets hot and when Josh Hart gets hot, it's really hard to stop that team from kind of rolling you.
The Knicks fans put a Knicks jersey on Wilt Chamberlain's statue outside of Wells Fargo Arena.
Rough.
You would never think to like see a city like Philadelphia kind of get taken over like that, but it would totally make sense that it ends up being New York fans. Oh yeah. I think that's well connected. Oh yeah. Another series, the Magic Cavs. I believe that game's also going on right now.
Yeah, it is.
Magic tied it up 2-2. They won both of their games at home. I didn't really get to watch any of those, but I did see that they just beat the absolute shit out of the Cavs.
Yeah, no, this was not what I was expecting. I mean, the Cavs were, after their second game, kind of looked like they had both hands on the wheel, driving right through them. But after that one game, they just took off on them. They beat them so bad, and now we're all back to tied again. So I didn't expect this series to become interesting, but now here we are. It's NBA basketball playoffs, so I guess you just kind of got to get ready for what's going to happen.
A series doesn't start until an away team, wins a road game. So the series might not start until either the beginning of Game 7, possibly. So we'll keep in tune to that. Thunder swept the Pelicans last night. I really have. Oh, actually, my one note on this is that SGA and Chet commercial needs to be taken off the airways.
Yeah.
If I have to hear what is it?
What a pro wants.
What a pro wants, what a pro needs. If I have to hear that.
Shit's terrible.
Dude, watching the NBA and NHL playoffs have just drained my brain from hearing
that's
that
so
commercial.
many. That's just so many like commercials nowadays. Though it's just like when that first came on, it was. And then the second time it came on, I was like, oh, yeah, it's pretty funny. Third time passed, it's just been like the worst thing ever. And that and the Apple one, Don't Let Me Go, that's terrible too. I love that. I loved that one when it came out. It has now been 2 months, and I don't like it anymore.
It was like right around the Super Bowl,
yeah. I was like, nah, I'm good.
I have a whole Twitter thread of bad commercials. Everybody go check that out. That was really funny. Any other notes on the NBA playoffs?
Mavs and Clippers.
Mavs Clips. Talk about it.
Fire series.
Kyrie.
Paul
George
going back and forth.
Other names.
That game was. Were you here watching the end of that with us?
I don't know if
I was here with you.
Yeah.
That game was crazy.
That game was
bucket for bucket, back and forth.
It was Sunday. It was Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night.
Paul George, Kyrie just going at it. Harden as well. He was putting it on a show. Paul George hit this shot in the corner. It's corner 3. It was he was behind the backboard. It's a turnaround jump shot.
How about Kyrie's finish over
That
the
was
3-star
crazy.
players?
Over 3 people. Oh my gosh, that like no other person in the NBA can. A
Absolutely
guard
not.
can finish that.
No.
Zero way. No, that series is electric. It's 2-2.
Yes, sir.
Going back to LA. Both teams have won, one on the road, one at home. Yeah, I'm excited.
I honestly expected Luka to be more assert more authority just because how he tends to play against them. I feel like he hates them. Like,
And
he
he's been
things he does to the Clippers in recent history is dirty.
And it's not like he's been quiet because
No.
like his stats are still up there, but like you just
Absolutely.
haven't been seeing the pure dominance like we did those last couple series.
Who do we think takes it?
I'm rooting for the Mavs.
I
to be
think
honest.
I think the Mavs take it. I think they're gonna outlast.
I think he's
them.
gonna find that dominance again, and I think he might just take over.
No, I 100% agree.
He's getting what he needs from Kyrie. He has to do his own thing too.
Yeah, I think Mavs are going to struggle through it. Yeah.
Prediction?
I think it's going 7. And here's the thing. I want the Mavs to win, but I do think the Clippers were going to take it.
I also have a little bit of hot take. Clippers in 6. I think Clippers win in Dallas this weekend.
Okay.
But
We shall see.
that game is tomorrow, so it'll be a day before this recording drops. But we'll obviously all be tuned in. Okay, for the exciting news, NHL playoffs.
Oh yeah, dude, the Avs are here, baby. We're so excited here in Colorado that they're playing well. Yeah, these last 2 games.
I mean, real quick, the last time we talked about this, you were really down in the dumps.
No,
so.
yeah, I've walked this back a little bit
Okay.
because when I first did it, I think we were down 0-1 or something, and I was just like, I just don't feel like we got it. I don't think it's there. I don't think it's this year. I have now slipped into an entirely different place of delusion, and I will now be thinking that we're not going to lose a game for the rest of the playoffs. Obviously, that's not realistic, but just the way they've been playing, Georgie has completely turned like a huge 180 on how he's been playing and how he's been saving these goals and stuff. So they're exciting to watch again, and it's just like I really am so pumped, and everyone around me is too. Like the whole state of Colorado gets so buzzed when the Avs are playing well.
That Cale Makar goal on Sunday was absolutely insane.
Here, Makar. One-man breakout. Then better. Here he comes. The shot. He scores. That's hockey.
I hope that I don't know if it ever made it. That better have been on SportsCenter Top 10. The way he deked like 2 people, and then takes it across the ice. Which if you did that in Chell, I would have been knocked off my skates. And then he shoots it across his body after like kind of looking like he was going to pass it to his right.
Yeah,
and he's looking down. And he didn't even like look at the goal. And then it's the very last second just shoots it across.
Yeah,
it was beautiful. Val had a hat trick that game, and then the Avs played all the small things for the first time since the Cup.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like we're getting those vibes back again from the 2022 Stanley Cup run. It's starting to feel like that type of environment again. So I just really hope they can keep pushing through, though, because there's a lot of really good teams this year in the playoffs, like very good.
Game starts in about an hour and 30 minutes. We'll all be tuned into that.
Oh, yeah.
You were tuned into the game on Friday in person.
Yeah, I went to the game on Friday. It was amazing. Probably some of the most fun I've ever had at a sporting event. And I think what we kind of talked about last week, the big X factor was Georgie and whether or not he'd be on his game. They played later that night in Winnipeg after our episode, and they got the win. And then, Friday night in Ball Arena, Georgie chants every save. I mean, it was crazy. You could tell he was gaining confidence from the fans there. Mm-hmm. And, just going into the game tonight, I think tonight's a big, big, big game because if we can close it out at Winnipeg tonight, I mean, even if they come back here, Nuggets and Avs both undefeated in Ball Arena this postseason, but I think just getting it done tonight would kind of take off that pressure of, we have to win at home next before we go back to 7.
I agree.
But, if we're playing like this, I mean, it looks good. I'm still worried about that next series because that Dallas-Vegas winner is going to be a tough one to get through. But, but if Georgie's on, we're a solid team.
I think the Avalanche, I don't know if this is correct because I don't have the stat in front of me, but I saw it on Twitter. I think they have the most goals throughout the playoffs so far, like just because we put up like 6, 7, 5 every game. Yeah. So shout out to the Avs. They might be back. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves before tonight. But let's hope they can either end the series today or win it on. It would be what, Tuesday or no, Thursday.
So we play tonight, and then Thursday would be home here.
Thursday would be Game 6. Well, let's hope it doesn't even make it there.
Yep.
A crazy game. I don't know if you saw it. Vancouver, Nashville the other night. That was also Sunday. Nashville was down, or no, they were up. 2 goals? They were up 3-1.
I believe so. Before I had to leave,
they were up, I think, 3-1, and they had the Canucks pulled their goalie, and the Nashville had an easy chance to just hit a shot.
And it gets knocked in a neutral zone, and Hughes doesn't want to commit, knowing there's another player coming down the slot
all the way across the ice, and it hit off off the one of the posts, and Vancouver ended up scoring 2 goals in literally 2 minutes and 15 seconds, going into overtime. Ended up winning that game. Nashville fans probably thought they had that tied up, right there.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's playoff hockey right there, and that's just honestly the sport of hockey. When it's that fast paced and you're getting all those shots on goal, there's a good chance. I mean, you can score 6 times in 5 minutes if you wanted to. It's just always constant action near that net. So it's obviously it takes a lot of luck and some skill, but obviously they found it at the right time. Momentum right there at the right time, and they got it.
My team I've been watching really, hard through the end of the season was the Rangers. Yeah. Just because they were on that that track to the President's Trophy. Yeah. And they got it. And like we talked about last week, that was going to be the easiest series probably in the NHL playoffs. The first round was going to be the Rangers Caps. I don't think Ovi had a point all series.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to cause you to not have any real chance of winning when your best player on the ice just gets shut down to nothing. But the Rangers are just very, very good.
I think that's the first time in his whole career that he hasn't had a point in a playoff series.
I think so. Yeah.
Is he running out of gas or is it?
I mean, he's what, almost 40?
Yeah,
of course he's running out of gas. It's almost like he's just trying to chase some of those Gretzky records.
I'm gonna say that if I was a Caps fan, I'd be so upset for next year because your team's already in purgatory. Whether you know it or not, they're not gonna try to rebuild right now. They're just gonna let Ovi kind of. They were rebuilding this year. Yeah, and they just somehow snuck into the playoffs. But all that they're gonna be focused on next year is just Ovi trying to get that one record.
Exactly,
and he might not even get it for 2 more years if you look at the numbers. So, Oilers up 3-1 against the Kings. That last game, I think that was the Sunday late game, right? That game was an absolute saves fest. It was 1-0. I don't think anybody scored until there was 7 minutes left in the third. Yeah, I was about to fall asleep. I have no notes on that besides the Oilers are up 3-1.
I think I don't remember the exact number, but I know the shots on goal were the Kings had way more shots on goal than Edmonton, and they just couldn't score.
Yeah, and we were all sitting here Kings, please just score to make this interesting. They didn't. So Oilers go up 3-1. I think it's going back to Edmonton too, so that series will probably be over tomorrow. Yeah. The Bruins are up 3-1 over the Maple Leafs. Might as well be 4-1 if anybody saw that Ryan Whitney graphic. I don't even think we'll be able to allowed to show that on here. But it was some AI-generated picture of the Bruins mascot doing some bad things to a Maple Leafs mascot. We'll leave it at that. But the Bruins are a wagon. The Maple Leafs do this every year. I listened to Pardon My Take, and they pretty much just said the Maple Leafs are like the Philadelphia 76ers of hockey. They have these stacked rosters every year, MVPs. Great, just stacked rosters, and they do this every first round where they can't make it to even the Eastern Conference Finals.
No, yeah, when you have these stacked teams and you're really bumping yourself up as these really good teams, like, to everybody, and then you come in here and you just can't really
You can never get the job done.
Yeah, well, especially when you're playing a team like the Bruins, who are on kind of a revenge tour right now in these playoffs. If you're not going to come to play, then don't at all.
My Eastern Conference team, Florida Panthers, they won.
Yeah.
I told you, these boys are electric over here in Florida.
Nice.
I don't know who they're going to play next. I haven't even looked at that bracket yet, but not the East side at least. But I'm excited to see whoever the Panthers play, whether it's the Rangers, whether it's the Hurricanes. Like the Hurricanes too. Yeah. They're up 3-1 right now, and the Islanders barely are sticking in the series. I think they won that last game by pretty much control. But other than that, the Hurricanes.
These last few games, honestly, some of the series should be over. It was just a bunch of last minute fighting tooth and nail to try to stay in it, and just last minute goals to get it done. I don't know. A lot of these teams are just fighting to play one more game, but realistically, these games are over. These series are probably over.
Except
Florida has Boston next. I mean, assuming Boston wins.
Yeah.
So I think that series will be a dogfight. That'll be a good series.
That'll be huge.
That'll be electric. But like you mentioned earlier, one of them, probably the most exciting series so far, has been Vegas-Dallas. I mean, they both win both their games on away ice.
Yep.
And it seems like the most competitive series in hockey so far. And playoff hockey is back, and nobody is safe.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just one of those things where you look at some of them, with the Panther series, the Bruins, the Oilers series. It's just not every series is going to be a banger, especially in these first rounds. But every now and then you are going to get a Stars Vegas, where it's just you never know who's going to get it. At first, I thought it was Vegas all the way, and then they come out and they fight and they win one in overtime, and then they come in the next game and they win there. It's just awesome to see that fight back, and this is the series that you love to see.
Especially after split it, or you win 2 games on the road. Vegas in that sense. You're going back to Vegas. You're like, oh, this series is over.
Yeah. Typically it's who's going to win on the road, but this series it's who's going to win at home.
Yeah, away ice advantage.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we should. Is that a science? We should look at the stats for that. Any other NHL notes?
No sir. Nope.
Go Avs.
Go Avs.
Go Avs.
So someone got their Heisman Trophy back.
About damn time. It's unbelievable that they held it for that long.
It took Johnny Manziel to get it back.
No, exactly.
It took Johnny Manziel in a tweet from the Heisman Trophy Committee tweeting OJ was dead to get Reggie Bush's trophy back.
But yeah, this is ridiculous that it took him this long to get him this trophy. I know that he accepted gifts and accepted money later in his college career, but that has nothing to do with what he was doing on that field and how he was doing it. For instance, his 2005 Heisman winning campaign, he rushed for 1,740 yards, 16 touchdowns, averaging 8.7 yards per carry. And thanks to his backfield and as a returner, all-purpose was 2,800 yards. That's ridiculous. That's not something you see every year. That's someone who earned that Heisman, and money had nothing to do with it. It may have had something to do where he was, but I mean, it's ridiculous. And especially since players have been kind of getting paid forever, it's are we going to take away every major award from every guy who took a couple bucks?
I think we all have the same take on all the athletes are getting paid now. Why he should have gotten his Heisman back 4 years ago. He should have never got it taken away in the first place. But the second the NIL started, he should have got his trophy back.
I agree.
So, I mean, Shedeur Sanders has a Cybertruck.
No, exactly.
Give the guy his fucking trophy back.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, if we're going to, they kept Reggie Bush's, but OJ had one.
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
It just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. But, yeah, no, Reggie Bush, glad he got it back. I think everybody had the same take on that.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wanted to see it happen. It finally did on somewhat random Wednesday morning.
Yeah, it was a weird thing to wake up to.
And he was like, this is the first time my kids have seen the trophy. And they're like, oh, this is huge. And he's like, yeah. He's like,
I won it 19 years ago.
So shout out to Reggie Bush. Any thoughts on that?
OJ kept his Heisman?
Yeah.
That's insane. The morals in the NCAA Heisman committee is garbage.
Yeah, you can allegedly kill people, but you can't take any money.
You can't accept a slice of pizza from.
Don't you dare cut into the NCAA's profits.
I was about to say,
we will take everything from you.
That does sound like the NCAA. Now that you really break it down like that.
You can cut into a human, but not the NCAA. That's terrible. All right, well, we'll get into an ad read, and then we'll go back to our segments at the very end, and we have a little surprise at the end. Stay tuned.
Slove is not just Colorado's next up-and-coming clothing brand. It's the clothing brand who aims to bring a movement globally. When you wear a Slove piece, you're not just wearing a piece of clothing. You're elevating your style and representing what love looks like. Are you ready to spread love? Join Slove in creating a world where love triumphs over hate and fashion meets compassion. Follow them on Instagram at sluv.co or their website, sluv.us. That's sluv.us.
Welcome back. It's time for our segment part of the show this week. Shit out of luck question. SOL, take it away.
All right, for Joey and Jackson over there, let's go ahead and get into it. If you could trade your first-round pick for another pick, who are y'all taking, and who is your team? That's my question.
I actually like that.
No, yeah. What do you think?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
So if I was the Colts right now, this one's easy actually for me. I just thought about it for like 2 seconds. I'm trading Latu. I'm trading him ASAP for Marvin Harrison Jr. Zero question. You could get in more in depth because we need corners, but there wasn't like really a strong corner draft, like a strong secondary. We need edge rushers. Dallas Turner. We drafted an edge rusher, so like I'm not upset about it. But yes, Marvin Harrison Jr. strictly because his dad played for the Colts. He was probably the best wide receiver to ever don a Colts uniform, and just to have, I would have bought his jersey instantly, like seconds. And for him to go to the Cardinals, like it's cool. I hope Kyler Murray can make him successful, but like I think pairing him with Anthony Richardson would be just as dangerous. And to see him in that blue, just like his pops, it would be incredible. So I would say that, but other than that, I don't really have complaints. We did need an edge rusher, so I'm glad we got him. But
yeah, if this is just like a dream scenario where we could move up anywhere, I would say if the Falcons were going to draft a quarterback, like obviously anyone in that top 3 would have been nice. If we were going to go ahead and do that, then I wouldn't be mad if we were to go up super high to go get like one of those big 3 guys.
Really, even though that you have Kirk Cousins, who's like he's a decent quarterback.
This is assuming that they were going to go quarterback no matter what. But I think the best option, in my opinion, we had the choice of any defensive player on the entire board. I could have gone with any of them. I would have loved Dallas Turner. I think he's really, really good. I like Latu Latu, but I think Dallas Turner would have been something special. And so if I had to switch out what we were going to do, I think we would have traded back and then drafted him.
Actually, you guys answer this real quick, too. I want to hear the Broncos and the Chiefs from this.
For the Broncos, I'm not too upset with the Bo Nix pick, to be honest. And I think, just like Jackson said, if assuming that they're going to take a quarterback, then obviously the top 3 are going to be who I would love to have. But if I were to pick anyone, we'll stay with the top 3 quarterbacks. Yeah. That's all I got for you.
Would you like to answer your own question? Bears?
I'm not really an avid Bears fan, but being from Illinois, I like how we went. I wouldn't really change nothing. I also don't know enough about football, to be honest with you.
I think it's
watch enough. I know, but
I think it's a fair question. I don't know if Jackson was really thinking like on the topic of, having the roster already assembled kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, the way I looked at it was just like kind of to assess our needs, and I was just going to take obviously the best receiver.
No, yeah, I think to assess our needs, it was definitely Dallas Turner. I was just thinking with how they approached the draft, I would have if they were going to do that anyway, and I had to move around in that thought, then I would have definitely said we move up and get one of the big guys if that's something that we were going to do.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll do cold brew hot topics. We're going to go on to our next one. Mm-hmm. My hot topic this week, stats. This is always a stat. Oh, yeah, let's crack it open.
Yeah, let's get a couple brews going.
I forget who told me. Someone said that our cold brew hot topic segment of the show was just an excuse to drink on our podcast.
What if it is?
Yeah.
Mind your business. Watch and enjoy.
Exactly. So yeah, my stats. Like this is obviously I love stats. I'm a stats nerd. Last night the Dodgers did something that hasn't been done in 18 years.
Yeah.
The Dodgers, for a Dodgers team, I think this has happened obviously in baseball since then. But the Dodgers did not strike out yet last night.
Yeah.
First time in 18 years where the Dodgers did not strike out against the Diamondbacks. we struggled against them last year in the playoffs. So this was kind of a cool like redemption story.
Yeah.
Obviously, we need to do it in October. That'd be nice. But it was just a cool stat to see that our batters are finally catching stride after like a slow start. So
I think that like where the power rankings are and like the standings and such, I really don't think that it accurately shows how the Dodgers are going to start playing here soon. So I think you're right. That's a really cool stat because that's not one you see that often. So it's pretty sick. But yeah, I think the Dodgers are kind of getting in their groove here. So
and I think we have like 12 pitchers on IL. So like for them to do that, like for our batters to like pick up our pitchers, it means a lot to them. And when we have like some of these guys on the mound that are just getting their start, it helps them too, like especially with their confidence. So
definitely.
And my other stat was, sorry to beat a dead horse, the Nuggets have won 20 of their last 25 playoff games. So just cool little nuggets like that get thrown in that I see on Twitter. That's my hot topic. Stats.
Yeah, I mean, my hot topic is Michael Penix. I know we've talked about him a lot this episode, so I'm not going to make it too lengthy and all that, but I think Michael Penix might be one of the better quarterbacks drafted. A lot of people had him as their second best quarterback in the whole draft, or sitting there with Jaden Daniels at 2 as like one of their second best. And I agree. I think we now have one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league, and I think as long as he develops properly, I see a future where he becomes a real like Jordan Love type problem, comes out of the woodworks and starts dicing up people, especially in this kind of weaker NFC South, which is kind of reeling right now, and no team really knows what they're doing. I feel like Atlanta may be the only team in the NFC South right now that really has their feet planted and kind of has a vision for the future.
The last lefty we saw in Atlanta was Michael Vick.
He was very good. Nothing else happened at all.
Very good.
He's a dog.
Yep.
Caden, what's your hot topic?
My hot topic is rap beef is not back. I miss the days whenever we got diss tracks, and I guess it's kind of happened with like Quavo and Chris Brown, but like no one cares about them. I'm talking about the big dogs. Drake, Kendrick Lamar. It took a week and a half. I'm over it. I don't care anymore. And why are you rapping like that on a diss track anyway?
Yeah, that was a poorly made song. I mean, like he had some hits there, but like I don't know. There was a part where he was talking about how Drake didn't have any hits, and I'm like, that's just ignorant. Like that just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean, with Drake immediately going back on him after he attacked him like that quick, and then Kendrick takes like a week and a half. Drake dropped two diss tracks on him in the time he made one.
You know why he did it though? Like he waited this long? Not really, but
I heard money, but
yeah. Well, I mean maybe money, but no. I was gonna make the joke of the LeBron couldn't pack up a Canadian last night, so some other guy from LA had to today. Shout out Jamal Murray.
No, yeah, and I hate this rap beef now too. Not that I want this to like happen or anything, but like back in the day they would be like threats and stuff, and they were actually kind of like scary things that like people needed to really take very seriously. Nowadays it just kind of seems like they're just saying things and they're like nothing's really true. I don't know, like it's hard to just lock into these guys when they're talking about like trapping and stuff like that, when it's just like they're millionaires, trillionaires type guys, and it's just I don't know.
Bring back the award shows where Suge Knight would just come on stage and flip off all of New York and bring back that. bring back real rap beef.
Yeah,
everyone just talks the talk these days.
Yeah,
Hunter, hot topic.
So we don't have to get super deep into it because we already talked about it a lot. But I do think Anthony Edwards has the potential, and he's only 22, to end up on that same tier list as LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe. I know it's a hot take, and I know he's young, but
what does that take though? Does that take the rings? Like obviously
rings and MVPs for me.
You need all the accolades.
I think he's capable of doing both.
I think he's capable,
especially with the squad he has around him.
I think he's capable of some defensive player awards too.
Oh yeah, and I think, and I know it was mentioned earlier. I can't remember who said it, but something about maybe next year. I think maybe this year.
Ooh.
Maybe this year.
If he wins a ring, that
maybe
sets him
a ring
this
year.
Yeah,
that sets him really ahead of schedule. I like that.
The guy's a dog, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. Watching him play right now is very reminiscent of like a young LeBron James.
It really reminds me of a young Dwayne Wade. I've been seeing
Wade
those
moves
comparisons.
and all that?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But Mike too, obviously.
I love too that he totally has this like I'm out here to kill it mentality. Like I'm not your friend. I'm here to dog you on this court, and I love that
He
aspect.
said, "Who you want to dunk on?" He said, "Everybody."
His aura is unmatched. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really. frightened to
He's
play
very
him.
authentic too. That's what I love about
Mhm.
it. Like,
I'm really
you're not
frightened.
changing him.
I'm really frightened to play him on Saturday. I'm not gonna lie to
I
you.
hope so.
He's a dog, bro. Shout out to TJ. TJ wanted me to shout him out for his Anthony Edwards take. He did call that Anthony Edwards was going to be
He
good.
said
Like,
that when he was at the top 100 with him.
yeah, like 6 years ago, before he even went to Georgia. So shout out to TJ. That was a great call because now we're literally talking about him maybe being the face of the league. So it's all hot topic.
If we didn't have Darwin Ham, this series would be going on still today.
Darwin.
Yeah.
Doesn't
and I'll leave it at that.
doesn't even deserve the respect.
No,
for his real name.
I could kind of see that. I mean,
Hands in his pockets.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta, like, LeBron is gonna be LeBron. He's gonna coach and be a coach on the court because that's what he does in his knowledge of the game. But as a head coach, you still have to step in and make certain calls without being prompted to by your star player.
with this roster constructed right now, or like maybe how we'll see it next year with another, maybe if LeBron stays, a year older LeBron, Anthony Davis, maybe I think D'Lo's gonna leave too, but like maybe Austin Reeves, Hachimura. Who's the coach that you would want like stepping up? You could pick any coach really, besides like the 4 or 5 that are like kind of off limits. Tyronn Lue might be available.
Go get Rondo.
Yeah, it might be the young
crazy.
JJ. What about
Or
JJ
I was
Redick?
gonna say, get a former player.
I like it.
I feel like a young player that has been around the game while it's still changing and gotten to see it change, but still has the knowledge to adjust and also has the knowledge of back in the day.
Your boy Darwin Ham was an NBA player at some point. He was. He
also getting cooked by Brown.
Nuggets legend. Nuggets legend Darwin Ham. He did used to play for the Nuggets.
Yeah, but I do feel like having like a younger, like a former younger player come in and play with them would be perfect, just because I feel like they'd be able to connect with like players like LeBron just a little bit better than like a grown guy who just doesn't really get in with that crowd. But a guy who's, Rondo, a guy who's just playing with him not that long ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really smooth because that team almost doesn't need a coach. It almost just needs somebody who, like, knows the game of basketball and just can put the players in the right positions and, like, let them go.
Yeah.
Got a conspiracy theory.
Ooh.
Darwin Ham has been sent to the Lakers to get them to lose to the Nuggets for the last 2 years as revenge for being on the Nuggets and hating the Lakers.
Oh, my goodness.
Think about it.
It was all a ruse.
Think about it.
Damn you, Darwin.
Yeah.
So, like, last thing, I'll stay on this topic, then we can get past it. But you guys think LeBron stays?
I think so. Because, I mean, I think he wants to play with Bronny. And
I saw a report today saying that that's no longer a priority for him. From Woj.
I don't know. I think at this point in his career, despite all whatever everybody's going to say about it, he's just got a ring chase at this point.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's got to put whoever he can around him that he thinks he can go get a ship with, and whether that is him staying or him going somewhere.
I think that means him leaving. I don't think he can really win one right now with the Lakers. Like, if he was 5-6 years younger and could ride it out for a little bit longer, I think you could find a way for him to win a couple more on the Lakers. I don't think that's right now for them.
I feel like this summer with Team USA is going to have a big impact on that too, potentially, and seeing who he wants to play with and who else he might try to add to that squad.
Yeah.
Late GM.
Le GM is going to be USA basketball. All right, well, we got one more surprise. It's our boy's birthday.
Yes, it is.
My boy Hawk, hold on, we'll put him on camera in a second. I'm going to grab his gift. Never mind, I have a lighter. We're good. So we do have, I think you said, I asked him the other day, just like subconsciously, what his favorite dessert was. And he said chocolate cheesecake. So your boy, I don't know, are we going to sing him happy birthday? I really don't want to.
We can do it if we want to.
On camera? Holy fuck, no, I don't like this. Okay, and you're open.
Oh, there we go.
I got it.
Nice.
All right. Here you go.
Happy birthday, Hawk.
Happy birthday, Hawk.
Appreciate you.
Another year older.
Thank you, guys.
He turns, what, 24 tomorrow? Kobe year?
Joining the club, baby.
So we're not going to sing you happy birthday, but
That's not a problem.
make
I appreciate you guys.
make a wish, blow out your
Make a
candle.
wish, blow it.
Happy birthday, brother.
Hey.
So everybody in the comments, go wish Hunter a happy birthday. It will be the day after this episode drops, right? Or the day before this episode drops is his birthday. So this Wednesday, May 1st. Everybody, go wish him a happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
We have anything else?
think that's all we got for this week. Looking forward to a lot of good news coming up soon. But, yeah, for this week, I think that about wraps it up.
Go Avs tonight.
Go Nuggets.
Avs.
That'd be a good birthday present.
Oh, an Avs win. Let's go to the next series.
Yeah.
Perfect birthday.
Go
present.
Avs. Go Nuggets. Go Future Falcons.
Go Broncos.
Go Colts.
Go everybody.
Go everybody. Everybody have a great go Thursday, whatever you want to have.
Whatever your team is, go them today. That's how we're feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, yeah, we'll wrap it up. Hopefully some more exciting stuff next week. Who knows what will happen? Obviously, NBA, NHL playoffs will still be around, but hopefully we have some other good news for you guys. Go follow, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And, yeah, go tell somebody you love them. Might just make their day.
Peace.